In today's video, what I'll be doing is going through this, which came to my attention a few hours ago, and I thought that's going to make a great video because as we know on this channel, and as you guys are probably fully aware by now, WWE 2K20, the whole game is a bit of a meme. As I've said in several videos now, it's nowhere near as bad as it was upon release, because on release, it was one of the worst games absolutely ever made. Now, it's just a damn mediocre game. Like, some people really enjoy it. If you do, that's totally cool. I totally respect that. But in general, objectively, the game's just meh. It's whatever. It's a very mediocre game. So, with that being said, we turn our attention to this. You can see right here, WWE 2K20, 10 reasons it's actually a great game. Now, right off the bat, calling WWE 2K20 a, as it says here, great game, that is an insult to legitimately great games. WWE 2K20 in no regard is a great game. At best, I'd say it is serviceable. That's how I describe 2K20. So this article is going to give us 10 reasons it's actually a great game. It was written by Azriel, or I'm not going to botch pronouncing that last name. So it was written by our old mate Azriel, and he says here, or they say, I'm not going to assume gender, they say WWE 2K20 doesn't have a great track record with pretty horrible reviews thus far. But there are reasons to say it's actually a great game. So they go on, WWE 2K20 is a key candidate to being the worst game of the year, with a Metascore of 43. Jeez. And an overwhelmingly negative 1.1 user score. It's established that WWE 2K20 is definitely a bad game. The bugs are fun ruining and game breaking, and causes the game to crash more than any other game. The controls were changed for no apparent reason, with no way to switch them back or modify. However, could the same still be said 8 months after its release? And other problems the game initially came with, preventing users from appreciating the game's true beauty. With that being said, here are 10 reasons WWE 2K20 is actually a great game. So right here is the honest truth about 2K20. Poor user score, game-breaking bugs, fun-ruining stuff in the game, controls, not the best game. Down here, we've got the blind optimism, which leads us into the article. So reason 10, back and forth gameplay. How is this a reason why it's a great game? Seriously, this is what you'd expect from every wrestling game, every fighting game, back and forth gameplay. So apparently the game never loses its playability. It's news to me. It loses playability after half an hour of playing it. I don't know where this is coming from. It never never lost its playability. Like, it did lose its playability. That's why everyone's gone back to play 2K19. Hello? So we're going to skip this point altogether. Back and forth gameplay, what an absolute joke of a reason. Number 9 is devastating moves. Okay, what did that say? With every WWE 2K game release, there comes a new set of moves to add to 2K's move library. 2K20's moves feel impactful and devastating. Okay, fair enough. Good reason. But is it a reason why 2K20 is a great game? Is it really? I personally don't think so. So that's reason 9. We'll skip the rest of reason 9. Then reason 8. Immersive wrestling experience. Okay, what does that even mean? Let's elaborate. The combat system encourages players to think like wrestlers. Okay, it removes some arcadey elements and adds some simulation into it. This right here is my kind of problem with the gameplay, because as someone who enjoyed Here Comes the Pain, No Mercy, SmackDown vs. Raw, especially like All-Stars, the arcadey element is what's really good about the game, and the simulation stuff, especially with 2K, like 2K's simulation, it's just not that fun to play. Like, you can play it, I'm not saying it's not playable, it's just, the simulation ain't it really. So they go on, super heavyweight superstars like Big Show and Keith Lee won't be so easy to knock down. Yeah, but is that really immersive? Like, the commentary makes everything more immersive, does it? I mean, from my experience, the commentary, you want to mute most of the time. I wouldn't say the commentary makes everything more immersive. That's an absolute reach. So, reason 8, that's a joke. Moving on to reason 7, various fighting styles. Okay, this one, kind of similar to this one, but we'll go on. So, each wrestler on 2K20 roster feels unique. Does each wrestler feel unique? Do they really? Some wrestlers feel pretty similar. Okay, we'll go on. Wrestlers are categorized under different fighting styles: giants, cruisers, powerhouses, specialists, and strikers. Yeah, they are. I'm not going to take anything away from that. The wrestlers have styles. Once again, they bring up Braun Strowman, who apparently 7 foot tall. No, he's 6'8", 200 kilos. What's that in pounds? Like 350, 380 pounds, whatever. Basically, the fighting styles, yeah, various fighting styles, but how's that different to every other 2K game? How's that different, and why does that make this a great game? Does various fighting styles make 2K20 a great game? No. It just gives it a point of difference. Like, it's just, this list is such a reach. So, we move on to number 6, which, if my page would even load, which it won't even do. So, that's, yeah, here we go. It's finally reloaded. So, reason number 6, authentic character feel. This one is literally the same reason as pretty much 8. It's very similar to kind of like reason 10 in a way. Like, reason 6, authentic character feel. 2K20 makes characters feel like the real deal. How do you quantify that? Makes them feel like the real deal. That's such a qualitative, subjective point. Like, okay, maybe for you it feels like a really authentic, real deal with the characters, but it's just the same as like most other 2Ks. There's hardly any difference. How is 2K20 a great game? I just don't get this. So that's reason 6. Reason 5, most bugs are fixed. Okay, here's my counter to this point. Most bugs fixed. Okay, so when the game goes from worst game of the year, with all the bugs in October on release, it goes from worst game of the year. Should we say the game is great because it goes from worst game of the year to adequate, serviceable, playable? Like, just because the game is now playable does not mean that I or anyone should say that this is a reason the game's great because bugs have been fixed. Why are we complimenting them on that? This is just a basic element of game design that we're patting them on the back for. This dude's patting them on the back for and saying the 2K20 is a great game because of it. Like, I don't even get that. So that's reason 5. Reason 4, controls are easy to get used to. This one I agree with. That's a very fair reason. Nothing really to say else there. So that's that one. Reason 3, more payback abilities. Yeah, there are more payback abilities, but does this make the game great? Like, just because there's more payback abilities, it's a nice feature. Not saying it's a bad feature, but is this a reason why the game's great? So that's reason 3. Moving on to reason 2, if it will load, tons of weapons. Okay. The write-up for this one says, an improvement from 2K19 is that now players may customize what weapons will be under the ring in all match types. Okay, something quirky, something a bit different, but does this make the game great? Like, the definition of great, we really need to actually take a look at, because great is very positive, like a reason it's a great game, and they're saying this is great because there are tons of weapons, because you can use the Book of the Dead under the ring. All of a sudden the game's great because you can use a calculator as a weapon, because you can use a cassette tape. Like, what is this? So that's reason 2. Reason 1, 8-man matches / improved Hell in a Cell. Okay, if this is your number one reason why the game 2K20 is a great game, then your list is a farce. And, well, I know the list is a farce anyway. It's such a garbage list. 2K20 is not a great game. At best, it's an adequate game. At worst, it's a horrible game, okay? 2K20 is not a great game. This reason here, number 1, 8-man matches / improved Hell in a Cell. I'll read their write-up just to finish this off. So, one of the most chaotic matches are 8-man tag matches. Players can even tweak the settings to include include ladders, tables, sledgehammers, bats, and even the Book of the Dead under the ring. Which, once again, this is apparently good enough to justify reason number 2 on the list or something. The Book of the Dead. Okay, so I'll go on. It's even more fun with the elimination option toggled to on, meaning all 7 other participants would need to be pinned or submitted to win. On top of the 8-man Wreckfest, there's also the added functionality of getting weapons from under the ring in Hell in a Cell matches. This is literally the number 1 reason. Because you can grab weapons from under the ring in a Hell in a Cell match, 2K20 is a great game. Do you know how sad that is? Not because the game as a whole is really good and brings something to the table. No, the game's great because you can grab weapons from under the ring in a Hell in a Cell match. Okay, gotcha. So that's been the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been me exposing this 2K20 10 reasons why it's a great game, and it's just not. Like, Azrael is such a reach. You've got my attention, and you got a video out of me, so I guess you succeeded, buddy. But yeah, like, comment, subs on the drill. See ya.